Hi, this is Dee at Aloha Astro. We're looking at the new moon today, and it is February 1st, 2022. That new moon is occurring in the fixed air sign of Aquarius at 12:46 a.m., and it will be at 12 degrees 20 minutes of Aquarius. Let's take a look at the forecast that I've written to see how this may affect you. New moon in Aquarius, Tuesday, February 1st, activates the Aquarius impulse for change with some extra quickening influence as the new moon in an air sign falls at the beginning of a new month. Venus in Capricorn came out of retrograde a few days ago, and Mercury in Capricorn will turn direct on February the 4th. Today's new moon joins the Sun and Saturn in Aquarius, and together they form a square aspect to the ruling planet of Aquarius, Uranus, in Taurus, while Uranus forms a trine to Venus and Mars in Capricorn. The old and new, past and future, the inevitability of change, and the cost, both financially and emotionally, of change are serious considerations. In the zodiac wheel, Aquarius and Uranus rule the 11th house of friends, groups, organizations, and humanity as a whole. So you can expect to see more political issues regarding human rights or governing policies to dominate the news, and perhaps you may become more outspoken and active on issues you identify with strongly. On a more personal level, no matter where Aquarius energy sits in your own natal chart, you could become aware of what is outdated that you must release, or restrictive that you should resist as you make new plans for your future. Shocking or significantly life-changing news or events are possible, and if they do occur, it may be best for you to protect your own energy as you take some time to process and reorient yourself to new circumstances, while Chiron in Aries squares Venus and Mars. Mercury retrograde conjunct Pluto in Capricorn trine to the North Node in Taurus can help you to see that past thoughts and decisions have led you to where you are now, emphasizing the importance of choosing how to think and feel and where to direct your attention as you look ahead. So let's take a look at the planets and where they are and what they are doing. And here we have the precise time of the new moon. We can see the moon and the sun here, as well as Saturn. And there is that square to that planet of change in Taurus. And Taurus is the last sign of the zodiac that likes change. And this can create some fear over what you might be losing, but basically it is what it is, and time moves forward, and change may be for the better, but there may be some loss or some cost, or there may be insecurity or uncertainty about how changes will look. And it may be that there are other things that have simply become intolerable, such as maybe a job that doesn't pay you enough money, or a relationship that is lacking in love. Taurus is ruled by Venus, and it is about how you feel in terms of safety, security, pleasure, comfort. So if it's time for a change, it's time for a change. But a square always indicates where there is some friction or tension and what might feel awkward and uncomfortable, especially in the beginning stages of things. And that is further emphasized by Chiron in Aries, which is very self-aware and self-directed, squaring that conjunction of Mars and Venus. And together these two can be very physical, and they are in a success-oriented sign. They're in Capricorn. That is about, well, long-term things, status, authority, success, your big goals in life. And we've got Venus, which is a planet of affection, harmony, beauty, pleasure, and Mars, which is very physical, has to do with action and, how you use your body, how you feel physically. I don't know if for some people this would indicate maybe a deciding point in relationships. In general, we have a support from a trine going on to Uranus that things can change for the better, but it has to be determined that you're going to show up and do the work. You have to know what it is that you want and then commit to doing the work and going through the changes in order to achieve those goals. And again, it may come down to what you acknowledge as what's right for you, what's true for you, whether something is tolerable or not. And even if changes are happening to you and you have no control over them, ultimately you will adjust and adapt, and those changes may be for the better in many ways that you just cannot see yet. So definitely do take time if you need time to think and to be with your feelings, and that is something that the new moon actually offers. We don't just jump into new beginnings at the new moon. There's a quiet lull of being in the dark where we really do have to go within and consider what we're going to do as we have the moon increase in light and grow bigger in the 2 weeks ahead as it approaches the full moon and things come to a culmination. So you're getting ready now for the beginning of something. In many ways, your fresh start may not come until Mercury comes out of retrograde and goes direct. So that's in 2.5 days that is occurring. And then you may be able to make up your mind, say what you need to say, or, hand in that resignation notice, or have that talk in that relationship, or whatever needs to be done once you are past that retrograde. We've got some good emphasis, which I didn't write about, but Jupiter is kind of hanging out on its own here in Pisces, and it is giving some favorable support to the planet Uranus as well as Venus and Mars. So in a way, it's saying it's all good, or there's some protection in place, or you will come to a point of acceptance, or life goes on, basically. There may be that silver lining around the cloud, and you may not yet be able to see what good will be coming, but usually this is a planet of growth and benevolence and protection, friendship, good things coming. So it is offering some support. And then the Mercury-Pluto conjunction, I've had a hard time this past 2 weeks in my own personal life, and many of my clients also are going through some hard stuff. And that's the way this conjunction feels. So while we've got Mercury and Pluto together, Pluto is a planet of crisis, upheaval, transformation, power, control, massive stuff, big stuff, scary stuff, and Mercury's hanging out with it. And Capricorn represents the top of the chart, the midheaven, goals, mastery. I also think of Capricorn as being the most realistic of all the signs potentially, and has associations with things like longevity and endurance. And Pluto rules Scorpio. Scorpio has to do with the 8th house, and one of those things is death, or the idea of, the merging of boundaries and sharing of assets, which can represent the loss of your own individuality when you are with somebody else in a deeply intimate way. So there may be some scary things up for people that have to do with any of those issues, and it can have some effect on the course of the rest of your life and the decisions that you make and the things that you might literally set in stone now in your consciousness, that you determine that this is what needs to be done, or this is what I absolutely must achieve. It can be empowering because of this trine to the North Node in Taurus, or some of the things that come up while Mercury retrograde is hanging out with Pluto might not be all that comfortable or all that happy. However, there may be things that come out of it that teach you a good lesson, or teach you to be stronger, or claim your power, or help you more clearly define your path toward the future, because this is powerfully magnetic and creative. So definitely watch your mood, your thoughts, because we attract from love and joy, all heightened emotions. We also attract from fear and worry. And you definitely want to attract good things to you rather than things that might challenge you to step into your power. Be very mindful with this magnetic trine that's going on right now. All right, let's take a look at the Sabian symbol and see what we have. The other thing, we have a lot of air, and then we have strong earth. So when we've got those two distinctly different elements, and air can be, much more mental, analytical, quicker, and earth more stable, more steady, more physical, more material. And they aren't always in the best harmony or compatibility elementally. Water and earth and air and fire are the two pairings that work best together. So we're kind of split right now between, I think, our instincts and our reasoning, our logic, our thoughts, as we have, strong Capricorn and Taurus. And then we also have strong Aquarius energy at play at this lunation. So let's go find 13 degrees because we round up. A barometer. Keynote: the ability to discover basic natural facts that allow us to plan in advance for action. Here we are no longer dealing with ascent or descent, but with natural laws which involve causal relationships and the passage of one natural condition into another. The barometer registers air pressure, and a change of pressure today gives some indication of what the weather will be tomorrow. In a sense, this is the modern scientific equivalent of archaic prognostication through omens. Likewise, animals grow a more or less thick fur in early autumn according to whether the winter will be more or less severe. Planning for the near future is a possibility because the potential or seed of the future is already operating at the core of the present. This third symbol of the 63rd sequence tells us that it is most important to seek, by whatever means and at whatever level of consciousness, a knowledge of causal progression. In the broadest sense, this implies an awareness of cyclic processes, and this includes astrology. The key word is anticipation. And I think while we have, the futuristic, more technological Aquarius energy, and we have the earthier, more instinctual overtones of Capricorn, Taurus, and Scorpio's ruler Pluto, all giving us the sense of nature in here, we have this represented in the Sabian symbol, where we have kind of the old and the new, and the analytical, mental versus instinctual, natural going on. And it appears as though they can work together in harmony based on this symbol. And I feel like the most important thing here is the idea of natural laws which involve causal relationships and the passage of one condition into another. That first sentence is key. And I think that's like that trine going on. It represents that trine very well between the North Node and Pluto and Mercury. That basically we are under fate, destiny, or karma, but we also have our relationship to that and our ability to be creators within the structure of those laws. So that's the Sabian symbol. Definitely I feel that sense of anticipation with an Aquarius new moon. And we are coming out of so many retrogrades now, and February, March, a good portion of April are going to be free of retrograde planets, which is something to look forward to. We'll have the quickening of springtime here in my part of the world, and hopefully that will bring new growth for everybody with less restriction and doubt and things will begin to move forward in a good way for everyone. And this feels like the beginning of that. We shall see what progresses as we watch the planets move and we come up to a full moon. I believe it will be in Leo as we approach February, the middle of the 16th, right after Valentine's Day. We have a full moon on the 16th. You take care and stay safe and enjoy this new moon. Make your plans for the future and consider your relationship with the past as you are doing so.